and our conversation with Jody Rainey and Ken Kersenske. I'm going to mess it up. Ken Kersenske, the principal at Cambria Heights High School, is on the way here. I have to conference them in together, so let's get Ken on the line first. Ken, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Wonderful. Good to have you. Let's catch up now with Jody Rainey. Jody, good morning to you.
Good morning, Todd.
There we go. So the two of you can say hello to each other to make sure that you can hear each other.
How you doing,
Jody.
Ken?
Good morning, Jody.
Good morning, Ken.
Good shape. All right, so everybody's on board here. Gentlemen, it is a big day for the Heritage Conference, of course. Jody, let's start with you. Latest update on the road to the KCAC, the championships tonight.
As we stand right now, Todd, the games will be played as scheduled. I'm a little more encouraged than I was an hour ago that at least where I'm standing out at my house in Penn Run that the snow has let up, and that will give plenty of time for PennDOT and municipalities to get out and hopefully clear the roadways. And so as of right now, everything is going to be held as scheduled. And also, if we do have to change that status, we will make that announcement no later than 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Very good, very good. So we're planning on being there at the KCAC tonight. And Ken, I know that it won't be too long before you'll be hoping you can join us at the KCAC and bring your basketball team with you. That would be a big crowning achievement to a season, wouldn't it?
That's correct. We're looking forward to joining the Heritage Conference for the 2021-2022 school year and beyond, of course.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the decision-making process here from the school district's standpoint, Ken. There's a lot that goes into it, but probably a lot that people don't really realize that has to go into this decision. It's not something you make lightly. So if you would, talk about how that process unfolded at Cambria Heights.
Yeah, when we first met with a contingent of administrators from the Heritage Conference, Jody said from his perspective that Cambria Heights had always been there on the periphery anytime there was an opening or discussion of expanding the conference. And I feel like in my time at Cambria Heights that's been true as well, where we've always talked about the attractiveness of the Heritage Conference, particularly because of our nearby rival, Northern Cambria, a rivalry that goes back decades. Since Cambria Heights merged from three different high schools back in 1960, I believe. So when we heard that Ligonier Valley was looking to leave not only the Heritage but District 6, our board made a decision back in October to formally apply to the Heritage Conference. From that application came a meeting with 4 different administrators from the Heritage here at Cambria Heights and some of our board members as well as our administration. And after that meeting, we made the motion at the end of January at our school board meeting, and it was 8-0 with one member absent, and he was also in support as well, to say that we would accept the Heritage invitation should they invite us. So of course we were breaking a lot of traditions with some other neighboring schools like Central Cambria and Penn Cambria. We're a charter member of the Lower Highlands Athletic Conference, but our board felt like this was the time, and we weren't sure that this opportunity would become available again anytime soon. So our board made the decision at this time.
Jody, of course, we talked with you earlier this week about that decision and about them possibly coming on. Later that very same day, the Heritage Conference took the step and approved them, and it was unanimous.
Yeah, and I think that it's important to note, I think Ken hit on a lot of the key points. When they made the formal application, we really worked hard between the Heritage School, our members, and Cambria Heights to gain all the information and data that we could look at, Todd. We did look at enrollment. I think there's some misinformation out there. When Cambria Heights joins, according to the numbers for the next 2-year cycle, they would fit in as our second largest team behind Marion Center. So they're maybe 6 kids less than Marion Center and maybe 2 or 3 kids more than Northern Cambria for the next 2-year cycle. So we felt that fit well with our conference. A lot of people think that maybe they have more enrollment than they have, but the fact of the matter is we looked at that very hard. We also got numbers, Todd, the whole way back to like the current enrollments down to first grade, just to kind of see if there was any major ebb and flows that would leave either school at a disadvantage, like either Cambria Heights or any of the Heritage schools at a major disadvantage. So those things all worked out well, and we looked at the history of the times when we've played, our schools have played Cambria Heights in different sports, just to see what the comparisons would be. And it's about a 50-50 split. So we felt that competitively they were a good fit for our athletics. But as I said in the release, I really think that I'm very proud that our member schools were able to look just beyond athletics, because I think the appealing part of the Cambria Heights, or for Cambria Heights to come, not only the competitiveness for athletics, was the opportunities that we provide for kids to be acknowledged for their academic achievements, for their artistic abilities, and we're also beginning the robotics competition this spring. And so I think that the other things that we do, we feel we're a very inclusive conference, and we celebrate all the gifts and talents of our kids in our member schools. So I think that those things were strongly considered, and we felt they were a good fit. And also the last thing, I think that we know we're strongest at 10 schools, and if things happen beyond our control externally, we just felt that, with Cambria Heights, at a minimum, we would have 9 schools, and we know we can survive with 9 because we've done that for different times throughout our history. So I just think it was a great fit, and I think their culture, their communities very much mirror our communities. And I think that was something that was discussed at length when we met with their administrative team, with our committee from the conference. So overall, we're just thrilled to have them, and can't wait for them to become a full member and get going with us at the Heritage Conference.
Ken, a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to do the Northern Cambria Heights ball game, the Coal Bowl, the resumption
of
the Coal Bowl. That was when the Heritage Conference was operating with 9 teams and needed to schedule a 10th game, and Northern Cambria hooked up with you guys for what is probably as natural a rivalry as there can be. I'm guessing there are a bunch of people thrilled about the renewal of the Coal Bowl, huh?
There are. That was, I'm going to say, about 7 years ago was when that rivalry, was renewed for a 3-year cycle before the Lower Highlands went to a 10-game football schedule. And 2 of those games were played at Northern Cambria. One of them was played here at Cambria Heights. They won the first one 29-20 in a very thrilling game. We won the second one, I think it was 17-13 or 17-14, and then we won the third one as well. That rivalry had really not been renewed prior to that for at least 10 years. And I just remember, especially at that first Coal Bowl, I was not an administrator yet, but the pep rally that we had in our community and that they had as well, people were taking the day off of work, getting ready for the game. And that first one at Northern Cambria, it was definitely standing room only in the stadium. So that's something that means a lot. Actually, after the last Coal Bowl, there was an attempt by some independent film company to put a documentary together about it, and they did come and do a lot of filming and interviewing. That project never got off the ground, but that's how important that game is to these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Jody was talking a couple of moments ago about the Heritage Conference not just being about athletics, and I'm sure that thrills you as a school principal to see the focus upon other activities that students are engaged in.
It does. We're always looking for activities. We started a Technology Student Association chapter. It's in its 2nd year. We have a very active chapter of Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, FCCLA. As a matter of fact, several of the state offices are held by students here at Cambria Heights. The state conference chairperson is a retired Cambria Heights teacher. We have students who go to concert band, district chorus rather, county chorus, county band, district band, regional band. So those activities can be very expensive, and the opportunity to have those activities and extracurriculars within the conference means we can provide more for our students in a cost-effective way.
Jody Rainey on the phone with us, Homer Center principal, and Ken Kersenske, the principal at Cambria Heights High School, and the Cambria Heights School District voting this week in the Heritage Conference with a reciprocal vote. They're going to become a member of this Heritage Conference. Jody, when you think about the Heritage Conference and not only its survival but its quality of programs, there are very few conferences, if any, that offer that wide a scope of activities as the Heritage Conference does.
That's the thing that we're most proud of, and I think that's why we believe that we're a premier and a unique conference across the Commonwealth. And I do. One of the things that we've had some major issues to tackle in the Heritage Conference over the last 2 years. And at one of the meetings, we kind of went around the room, Todd, and we asked each member school, what do they feel is the strength of our conference, and what are things that we could look to improve upon. And every member school said that the inclusiveness of the kids and recognizing their gifts and talents and creating positive, enriching experiences in our three pillars of academics, athletics, and the arts. Everybody was in unison on that one. And we're just, and even the things that Ken had just spoke of, we look at Cambria Heights coming in as maybe extended opportunities for us, the things that they've been doing academically, that maybe we don't have those things in our schools, but maybe through their leadership, and we can offer those extended opportunities to our students, and through the conference using that as the vehicle to create competitions or other opportunities for all kids. And that's just positive no matter how you look at it.
Hey, Ken, would I be correct in assuming that you talked to the folks at West Shamokin about joining a conference that is established as the Heritage Conference is, just to say how welcoming were they?
I've not talked to anybody at West Shamokin specifically about our joining the conference. Jody and I are both on the District 6 committee, and I've worked with West Shamokin because they recently started a competitive spirit team, and I'm the District 6 chairperson of that tournament. So I have been in contact with West Shamokin for different reasons, but not specifically about joining the conference. Mm-hmm. We've had some interaction recently, though. Several years ago, our girls' volleyball team had to travel to West Shamokin for a playoff game. So there is a little bit of a relationship there.
Yeah, and of course, you're a school administrator. Jody is a school administrator, and I'm sure that even away from Heritage Conference activities, you get a chance to talk with the people from around the Heritage Conference, and you sort of get a feel for the landscape here, don't you?
We do, and one thing with Northern Cambria also being in Cambria County, Ellen Dubreck, the principal there, and I are both members of the Cambria County Secondary Schools Principal Association. Of course, when we go to conferences, now there is some overlap in that Cambria Heights and Northern Cambria are members of Intermediate Unit 8, and some other schools in the Heritage are not. But we do see each other at some events, so that communication exists, and I'll get to know those principals at Heritage Conference meetings, and I'm sure we'll talk about more than athletics there. Yeah. You had pointed out about the things going on at Cambria Heights. I should mention for your Indiana listenership, if I can get a plug in, that Cambria Heights the last 2 years has our high school Keystone exam scores in biology, algebra 1, and literature have either been first or second in each category in Cambria County. A lot of times the schools in southern Cambria County get a lot of the media attention, but we do have some of the top scores here at our high school. So if you'll let me put that plug in, I'd appreciate it.
Happy to.
Thank you.
And just let me tell you that when we've had some playoff games at Glendale, so we drive by, and you've got such a beautiful campus, and so it's really nice to hook up with you by telephone today, and obviously we'll be hooking up as a member of the Heritage Conference in the coming years, and we appreciate you spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you. We look forward to you coming out. We're in the midst of a $27+ million high school renovation. So when we join the conference and play our first games, we'll be in a new football stadium here on campus. Previously, we've played downtown at a stadium owned by the Patton Borough and leased by us. New renovations to our auditorium. Everything essentially inside the high school other than the walls themselves are new. We put in a geothermal heating and cooling system with 126 wells here on campus, new electrical system, plumbing, mechanicals. So you'll get to see a brand new school as a member of your conference.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, thanks for being with us today. You guys have school today or not?
We do not. I'm sitting in my office now looking out at the snow. So we're making the same decisions that the Heritage is right now about some basketball games, wrestling tournaments, etc.
Yeah, and Jody, you're drinking hot chocolate right now too, right?
Standing in my garage, Todd, just shoveled a bunch of snow, getting ready to go figure out what we're doing later on today.
All right, well, we'll be very interested in what you're doing later on today. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.